We're here at ACL 2016 with Lucy Dacus. How you doing?
Doing good, thank you.
So you played yesterday?
Yes.
And how did that go?
It was awesome. We played the BMI stage. It was nice. There's kind of like a natural dip that the crowd, it's like a little bowl. It kind of felt cozy, which I wasn't expecting. There were a ton of people from Richmond there, where we're
Your
from.
hometown?
Yeah.
Okay.
It felt oddly like a hometown show. Like someone I hadn't seen for like 5 years was in the second row. I was like, Robert, what?
Oh, wow.
My dad came,
Oh, that's
which was
awesome.
really cool. We have some friends that are like on the way to the West Coast that stopped by, and yeah, it just felt kind of like homey.
Now, you played last year at South by Southwest, and that, I was just talking around here, that was like you were kind of the buzz, one of the buzz artists, and now you're almost a year later, you're back and you're playing at Austin City Limits. Is there any moment in this past year that kind of stands out?
Like so many.
Yeah.
And like once a week it feels like, or like once a day even. The moment I have is probably not what you would expect, which is we were on our way from Lollapalooza to our next show at Dobe Fest, which is like on Orcas Island off of Washington State.
Okay.
And we stopped in Idaho. Like we didn't have a show or anything, but we went to this campground and had a cabin, and it was like a beautiful night with tons of stars, and they had boats you could take out on the water. And I was like just having one of those like the world is beautiful days. And then I realized I was at work.
Yeah.
Like my job allows me to see stuff like that. And like we're on tour, we have a 24/7 job, which sounds like miserable to some people, but there's a lot of room for like beauty and observance. So that felt cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, what I love about your music is it sounds very personal, and it's like brutally honest, almost like about yourself. It's almost like you're opening up your diary almost to the crowd. Is that, has it always been easy to express yourself, put yourself out there?
Yeah, not easy to share it. Like I have always journaled, so I'm used to expressing myself to myself. It's really hard to get in the habit of opening up to strangers, and I didn't do it for like a really long time. But actually once you start doing it, and I try to tell this to people that want to start like playing shows, you get used to it. Like it stops being as scary. And I'll think about that sometimes, like even walking on the stage yesterday, I was like, months ago I would have been really freaked out to do this, but after doing it like every day, I don't know, you realize the worth of it, and so it doesn't feel as much of a stress, at least to me.
Yeah. One song that really stood out for me was I Don't Want to Be Funny Anymore. It just, to me, I read it as like being put in a box, and I think being biracial myself, it's like you get put in a box, you have to fill in, boxes. What kind of boxes were you put in growing up?
I guess like all the immediate ones based off of my appearance. Like I was the tall one. I went to like a majority like black church when I was younger, so I was like the white girl. And I was like the smart one, I guess, in school, like the nerd. Eventually I was the funny one, which I guess I used up most of that because I don't really tell jokes anymore. But that was kind of my way of like making friends,
Sure.
I guess, is like, yeah, I guess it was in middle school mostly when people are kind of forming their own identities and like in opposition to other identities, and they're borrowing from the media and like TV, and so everyone's really quick to like give you titles and be like, oh yeah, you're the quirky one, or like you're the cute one.
Like a John Hughes movie or something.
Yeah, exactly. So I think I've overcome a lot of that, but it did affect me when I was younger. I think it affects a lot of people.
And have you had the same things happen to you as a musician? In terms of like being put in a box?
Oh,
Jeez.
yeah. Yeah, like even people trying to pin down like a genre, like singer-songwriter. Yeah, I sing and I write songs, but it's not really that because we're like a rock band. Or even when people say like female-fronted band, as if that's a genre, which it totally isn't.
Yeah.
Like it shouldn't be exceptional that women are leading bands, like, because no one says male-fronted band.
That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay. So you said you finished up your tour.
Yeah, we have one more show in Houston,
Okay.
and then we drive all the way back.
So what was it like touring with 4 guys in the band? Was that
Yeah.
interesting?
It's always good because they're really considerate people. Like, and this band, we've had like a couple changeovers in the band, but everyone here, like, we really are comfortable with each other, and I trust all of them. So it doesn't like. It doesn't match how it feels to have a lady on board. Like, one of my dearest friends sometimes tour manages us, and that's like a different story. It's really nice to have her around. She's also like my best friend, so
That's nice.
that's good. But yeah, it's been good.
Nice. So when you go to visit a city, what's the first place you stop at?
The venue.
Besides the
Yeah,
venue, like
Yeah.
place. I know you read a lot.
Yeah.
Bookstores.
Those are the big two, I think. Like, we don't have a lot of time. Like, we don't really get to see the cities we're in that much.
Sure.
Because we'll have to show up, do sound check, eat, play the show, and then go to wherever we're going to sleep. But if we do have like a day off or a couple extra hours, we'll definitely try to find like the best food in the area, best bookstores, good record stores.
What's been one of your favorite cities?
Actually, the 2 cities that I feel most comfortable in are Austin and Philly.
I'm gonna tell you to say Austin.
Yeah, well, it's like I don't look to move away from Richmond at all, but I feel this weird, like, unexplainable sense of coming home whenever I go to either Philly or Richmond. Like, if I had to move, I would probably come to one of those places.
Okay. Is there something you would tell yourself last year, like if you could go back? Is there one bit of advice you could give yourself? You know, 'cause I think this year has been kind of life-changing for you.
Yeah.
Is there one bit of advice you'd give your old self?
I don't know. I feel like trust yourself before you trust other people.
Okay.
Maybe, like, have an opinion about things, and like, I think I've done that a little bit, but I haven't been conscious all the time of like music industry stuff, or it's hard to find resources on like what should you do when negotiating with a record label. Like, that's not like public knowledge, really. Like, you don't really Google that. There's no like answers.com.
You just have to learn
thing.
it for yourself.
Yeah, and if you don't make the right decisions, though, then you've already maybe gotten into something. I think, like, I'm happy with how everything turned out with us, but it's still like I could see how people could get taken advantage of, and there was, I guess, things happened really quickly for us, as you said, and I'm glad it shook out how it did, but it could have, been worse.
Okay, great. Thank you, Lucy.
Thanks for talking.